In 1590, Spain owned half the world's gold and silver. In 1914, Britain ruled 1/4 of the planet. In 1991, the Soviet Union commanded 30,000 nuclear warheads. All three were invincible. All three were broke within a single lifetime. And in 2025, the United States is walking the exact same 7-step road to the grave. We just finished stage 5. Picture your dollar as a man standing on the edge of a cliff, still smiling for the cameras, while the rock beneath his boots has already turned to dust. That's us. Right now. You feel it every single month. The rent notice that jumps another $200. The grocery cart that quietly hits $300 when it used to be $180. The 401k that swings like it's drunk. You're running harder, sleeping less, and still falling behind. This is not bad luck. This is the pattern that has ended every reserve currency empire for 500 years. Spain followed it. Britain followed it. The Soviet Union sprinted down it in 900 days. Tonight, you'll see exactly where we stand on that same countdown. And why your house, your job, your kids' future are now on the clock. Here are the 7 stages that have never once failed. Stage 1, military overextension. Stage 2, currency debasement. Stage 3, debt spiral. Stage 4, loss of productive capacity. Stage 5, social decay. Stage 6, loss of reserve. Currency status. Stage 7, sudden collapse. 3 superpowers hit every beat. We just checked the first 5. But here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Once stage 5 is done, stages 6 and 7 don't walk in. They kick the door down. Spain, 1580. Galleons groaning with silver sailed home like clockwork. Madrid partied like the treasure would never end. But half that silver left the next week to pay soldiers fighting wars on 4 continents. By the time the mines in Potosi coughed their last, the empire was already hollow. Jump 3 centuries. Britain, 1914. The pound was gold. London was the world's bank. Then World War I cost $1 trillion in today's money. They borrowed from America, lost their gold, and by 1947 the sun finally set. On India, on the empire, on everything. Fast forward again. Soviet Union, 1985. 20% of GDP on tanks while people queued for bread. Oil prices crashed, the ruble became toilet paper, the Berlin Wall fell, and 900 days later the red flag came down forever. Same 7 stages. Different uniforms, same funeral. And every single time, the middle class paid the bill. Mike in Youngstown, Ohio, used to weld steel for GM. Factory closed in 2008. He's 52 now, driving Uber 60 hours a week, still underwater on the house he bought in 2005. Sarah and Devin in Phoenix saved for 7 years for the down payment. Rates doubled the month they finally qualified. Now they rent a 2-bedroom for what their mortgage was supposed to be, and the landlord just raised it again. Jessica in Atlanta is a nurse, single mom, 2 kids. Last week eggs hit $9. She stood in the aisle doing math in her head and put the carton back. These aren't statistics. These are the early warning lights of stage 5. Now look at America, 2025. Stage 1, military overextension, 750 bases, 80 countries, promises to defend half the planet at once. We're already rationing missiles in a proxy war. Stage 2, currency debasement. Since 1971, your dollar lost 98% of its value. Since 2020, we printed more than in the first 220 years combined. You're living the debasement every time you fill the tank. Stage 3, debt spiral. $36 trillion owed. Interest alone now costs more than the entire defense budget. We borrow to pay interest on the money we already borrowed. That's the sound of the spiral tightening. Stage 4, loss of productive capacity. We don't make the ships that bring our stuff. We don't make the chips that run our weapons. We offshored the factories and kept the PowerPoints. When the dollars stop flowing back, the shelves go empty fast. Stage 5, social decay, trust in every institution at all-time lows. Fentanyl killed 100,000 last year. Tent cities everywhere. We can't build a bridge, pass a budget, or agree the stove is hot. The fabric is already in threads. 5 for 5. And stage 6 is already whispering. Saudi Arabia pricing oil in yuan. BRICS building a payment system that skips the dollar. Central banks buying gold faster than at any time since 1950. They're not dumping the dollar yet. They're just building lifeboats. When the rush starts, your grocery bill doubles in months. Your adjustable mortgage jumps from 6% to 18%. Savings evaporate overnight. That's how fast Stage 7 arrives. History says the fall is never gradual. It's always brutal, sudden, and final. But here is what history also shows. Every single collapse created two kinds of people, victims and survivors. The victims insisted it couldn't happen here. The survivors saw the pattern early and moved first. Quietly, right now, the sharpest people are doing four simple things: owning real assets that can't be printed, paying down debt that can blow up in a rate spike, learning skills that work when the grid flickers, and building tight circles of people they trust with their lives. They're not panicking. They're preparing, because every empire that fell also birthed the greatest transfer of wealth in a generation, to the tiny minority who understood the stages before the crowd did. Spain fell. New powers rose. Britain fell. America rose. When this cycle closes, new fortunes will be made by those who refuse to be surprised. The cliff is here. The ground is already gone. The only question left is whether you'll look down in time. The pattern has never been wrong, but the people who read it early have never been broke. Stay sharp. I'll see you on the other side. Fade to black.